Hello guys, welcome to Koi Academy. Guys, in this video we'll be talking about what is sociological imagination in the world of sociology. Let's start with an example. Suppose that an individual is unemployed. Now, what could be the cause of his unemployment? Whether he is not very skilled or he is not skilled at all, and what the skill set required in the market, he does not possess it. And a person who is his neighbor probably and he has good skill set, he is employed. So by looking at it from that angle, we see that the problem is in the individual and he has to improve himself to get a job. But what if we see that no, it's not this individual's fault, it's the economy as a whole which is shrinking. And if the economy was performing well, he might have got some job, even though low paid, but he might have got some job. So this is what we are talking about in sociological imagination. That is, we are discussing the issues of individuals in terms of broader sociological phenomena. So let me just read this text for you. Sociological imagination is seeing the connection between your personal world and the world around you. So you're not just studying the personal problems of people at an individual level. You are analyzing them in terms of society. It was a theory of C. Wright Mills, who was a famous American sociologist. It says that social problems require changing social structure, not just the personal therapy. Seeing personal issues such as divorce, poverty, etc., in a larger social context. In other words, some of what we experience is beyond our individual control. For example, poverty is due to lack of education. Now, that is a problem at individual level, and you can improve it by, let's suppose, engaging the individual in education program. But that could also be because of unemployment. Now there are no jobs in the society. Now in that condition, even if one is very highly qualified, he won't be getting any job. So it becomes a social phenomena, it becomes a social reason. So that's why we say that we are looking at the problem of unemployment of an individual from a sociological perspective. That is, we are using sociological imagination when we are trying to explain that individual problem in terms of wider sociological processes. And very famous example is the Occupy Wall Street movement. Now people got unemployed, but they didn't think that they were unemployed because of their own incompetency. They didn't think that some people were more qualified than them and they deserved the jobs. No, they basically perceived their own unemployment in terms of a bigger sociological imagination, and that is that the capitalist society is unjust, and people, basically the capitalists, those with money, they are extracting them, and that's why they are unemployed. So they didn't see themselves as someone to blame with. They said that the capitalist system is to be blamed because it's promoting inequality. Another aspect in sociological imagination, or example I would say, is the suicide by Emile Durkheim. Now he said that suicide is not an individual problem, it's a social problem, and he basically proved it with empirical evidence. He says that in some societies rates of suicide are higher and in some the rates of suicide are low, and it's because in those societies where individuals are connected with each other, there is bonding is strong, people commit less suicide. And in those societies where there is less bonding, or anomy, what he coined the term, then society experiences more suicide rates. So he also saw suicide, which essentially is an individual problem from a broader perspective. That is, he used sociological imagination to address a problem, a personal problem. So that's it about sociological imagination. I hope you understood what it means with examples, and thank you for watching, and do subscribe for more videos.